Okay, I'm going to do a real quick review. Been wanting to do this for several days and I keep forgetting. I get busy doing something else and end up not doing it. What we did, we went out and we did some shopping, some serious shopping, and found all this land, 100 acres. And we have another 20 acres further down the road, but the 100 acres, and we bought it cheap, really cheap. And did a little research on the area. It's a pretty cool area. It's in New Mexico. I've been reading a lot of stuff online. How do I do an off-grid house? Well, the first thing you need is imagination, because you're going to need it. Anyhow, these are two Graceland storage sheds, and the one is 12 foot by, I don't remember what the dimensions are. Anyhow, that's a garden shed up front and the corner porch in the back. Now, if you're going to do this, get the biggest shed you can. We could have gone, I think, 14 foot, and it would have been well worth our while if we'd gone 14 foot. But get the biggest shed you can. And make sure you don't need all kinds of permits and stuff like that to put them in. In New Mexico, anything over a certain size, you need a permit to set it. So that's what you need. The first thing we did was we got the sheds and we got them set. I pulled them together. There's the seam right there by the bat house. I pulled them together with come-alongs and rollers, got them all anchored and everything. Then we got the septic tank. You're going to need a septic tank unless you're going to build an outhouse. And that's back there. That cost me $5,000. The land was about $30,000. The septic tank was $5,000. And the two buildings were not that much. I think the total of the two is $15,000 or $16,000. I think it might have been even less than that. But that's how we did that. And we got the septic in, and probably one of the first things I did was got the toilet in. Gotta have that. I didn't want poop all over my land. So then we got all these solar panels off Craigslist, and you can get some really good deals on solar panels off Craigslist. The upper ones we got from a private seller. They were new, still in the box, for I think $190 each, and they were Solar World. Yeah, Solar World, I think. All those across the top. The two end ones, there's 4 end ones total, we got from a company out of Utah, Jordan, Utah. I can't remember the name of it. And I put these two up first just because I didn't want to be up on the roof by myself. And those two panels by themselves did a great job running our freezer for a very long time before I started putting the rest of them up. But those collect the evening sun, about 3.5, 4 hours worth of sun right there, sometimes more. And the ones on the other end of the house collect the morning sun. That thing starts charging the batteries as soon as the sun comes up. Now we are going to put 6 more panels on the roof, and that'll fully populate the roof. And that'll get that taken care of. We use cheap charge controllers, and I've not really had any trouble with any of them yet. These are the CM3024Zs. Buy them on eBay. Now there are clones. You have to be careful. Watch out for the clones. I have gotten a couple of clones, and they're still in the box. So let's see. We got that. Our inverter is a PowerTech On pure sine wave inverter. Got that off Amazon. This is most of the parts here, probably 90% of the parts are off Amazon. Our amp gauges are all off Amazon, and so on. We will be, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't. Once everything's completely finished, which it mostly is, I'm going to start looking into a better charge controller system, but this one really works really well. It's not the preferred type. You know, the professionals prefer this certain type, blah, 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 but they work. You can, these are all in parallel. All of them are tied in right here. And they're all in parallel. Right now we're charging at 22 amps. But you can put your charge controllers in parallel. Like this one, here's our wind controller. This also came off Amazon. All this came off Amazon. Our windmill controller, it's all in parallel. So that's how everything's wired and hooked up. These are the shunts. This right here is the shunt for the amp gauges, watt meters. Everything there works really well. We have a freezer over here in the corner. This came from Menards. Let's go inside. This freezer in here came from Menards, and what we did here was we put this freezer on a controller. This is a beer controller, Inkbird controller, and what that does is it turns the freezer off and on. When it hits, I think, 39 degrees, it'll turn it on. Yeah, 39, I'm pretty sure, and when it'll shut it off at 33 degrees. So this is our refrigerator. I do have TV and internet in here. I have DirecTV. I can't stand Dish, so I went with DirecTV. I worked for Dish for a while. I can't stand them. And there's my ham radio, and it's getting to where it works. It's the Yaesu 990. I'd gladly trade, well, not gladly, but I would consider a trade for a Yaesu, I think it's 857D mobile, straight across. I'd consider it. I don't know that I want to get rid of that. We can run a microwave. This is just a cheap microwave. As long as we're not cooking a roast, you can run a microwave off all that. Our water heater is in here. It's a Richmond tankless water heater. And it vents outside. The air comes from inside and the vent goes outside. So that's our water heater. It's propane. Shower, toilet, sink, it's all in here. So that's what we've got in here. We do have air conditioning. Sue's coming up this week, so I'll have her help me get the air conditioner out of the window and get that sealed up. I'm worried about not having enough oxygen in here. I sealed it up so well. There's our heater, and it keeps it toasty warm in here with no problem at all. It's a Williams propane heater, ventless. So it vents outside and air comes from outside. This is our washing machine. It's a Medea MAE 50-1102 PS. I'm sure you've seen that on lots of videos. We do fly a drone around. That's one of my model airplanes up there. Storage. Now this room's done. I've got a couple little touch-up things to do. This is the bedroom. So I'm not sure if we're going to start bringing stuff down or not as far as living chairs and stuff like that. I'm not sure. I'd like to. I saw two recliners that I really liked, but they were heavy as hell. I don't know how I'd get them in here. This pure sine wave inverter creates a lot of RF noise, so if you're a ham radio an amateur radio person, you're going to have to put your antenna a long ways from the house. This came last week. Nice big 31 foot by 20 foot carport. I'm not going to put a bunch of junk in there because we're going to put a shed across the back, and we're going to put pea gravel down on the floor. I did realize, and I'm leaving today, but I need to fill this up because that's going to be a river. The way it rains out here, that's going to be one hell of a river, so I need to get it filled up. What else? There's our windmill. It's not doing anything at the moment. Let's go to the water. This is the vent for the heater. I got a bat house up there. Okay, this is our rainwater system. It's on automatic now. When the rain reaches about 3/4, 7/8 full, somewhere in there, it will turn on and pump into the big tank. Big tank's back there. I just have to get it to fill that fast. When we come back, I'm gonna replace this line, both lines coming out of the gutters, with 1.5 or 2-inch PVC, and just try and get it to work a little bit better, because those filters that are on the catch tank plug up really fast and really easy. I just need more surface area on the filters. That keeps the bird poop and stuff like that from getting into the water. Then I've been using colloidal silver in the water. I add a gallon of that every once in a while and make my own colloidal silver. The light right there, the LED light, will turn on when the pump is running. That way I can see that it's on from the cameras over there. Cameras look funny for some reason. They don't look right. I'll have to check those. But they do pump through a couple of filters. Comes out down there, goes through one small filter into another bigger filter, through the pump, and out into the tank. Not too worried about it freezing. The whole house is with PEX, and PEX doesn't break when it freezes, it just swells up. There's our 3,000 gallon tank. It's buried 2.5 feet, 3 feet down into the ground. That keeps it from freezing, helps keep it from freezing. If it was in Rawlins, it wouldn't do any good at all, because our frost level is about 6 feet down. Or what is it, 2 feet, 3 feet? I think our frost level is higher than that, so it would freeze quick. Back there in the back is my weather station. It's KJ7AZ-3. If you are a ham radio and can use Find you, yeah, APRS. What else? The whole house has been built using Ryobi tools. Haven't had to replace one yet by those at Home Depot. The saw, the everything, all the tools are Ryobi, and they work great. Everything's screwed together. Not very many nails have been used. What else? There's my my big saw. I use that for cutting pipe and the fittings. I'll tell you about the mounting the solar panels. Definitely do not do it like I did. That's a pain in the ass. Just fork out the bucks and buy the regular solar panel mount, because those will last forever, but they are a pain in the ass to install. I think you probably end up paying about the same much for the solar panel mounts as you will what I paid for that up there. Okay. This is what I've been doing more than anything else this time, making sharp sticks. I've been working on my sharp stick collection. I've got one here that I think I'm going to keep for me, but these are for killing zombies in case of a zombie apocalypse. And that's a sharp stick. Zombie apocalypse could happen any day, you know. Okay, let's go in here. I have pressure tank, and my pump is over there. I've got another filter that I need to put in here, and I haven't done it yet. But the pump is a 3-gallon SureFlow, 3 GPM. Works great. Don't have any problems. This is the controller for the water heater. I have a list here of stuff. The cameras outside are what they call a moto. This is the inside camera. I can rotate that one around. I got those off Amazon. They work really well. They're extremely easy to set up. Haven't had a problem with one yet. I can't think of much else. The freezer is a Criterion. I don't know what that is. The batteries, let's go back to the batteries. I'm jumping around all over the place. The batteries are Trojan L16E-AC, and they're doing great. I've added water to them twice. 1 cup per battery is what it's taken, and they're doing okay. Doing 11 amps off the east panels right now. That's the panels on the east end of the house. Okay. The dogs are in the truck. They're being a pain in the butt this morning. You're in doggy prison. That's about it. The roof is the biggest insulation we could get. Everything inside the ceiling is the largest insulation we could get. The walls are all Pink Panther R13 with a foam barrier. So we put up a 1-inch foam barrier and then put R13 over that. I'll tell you, you can't hear anything in here. You close all the doors and windows, and the wind can be blowing 50 miles an hour outside, and you cannot hear it. The faucets, both of the faucets are Pfister, Pfister, kitchen faucet, and the bathroom faucets. Well, the sink and the faucet in the bathroom came from IKEA in Denver. And I don't like that store. It's hard to get around. Hard to figure out what you're doing. I don't like it. The stove is a Premier propane, and don't buy black. Look at this dust. That's all dust. I'll let Sue clean it when she gets here because she picked out the black. But that's about it. I'm running a sound bar. I have to put a little cover on it here because the light drives me crazy at night. It's too bright. Lights up the whole house. This is one of our little lights. All the lighting in the house is 12 volt. Every light in here is 12 volt. This is a motorcycle light. When you turn it on, it kind of has little piston shadows and a motorcycle shadow. Kind of cool. The ceiling fans are just standard. We changed out all of this. It took a little wiring, but I did it. Everything's 12 volt. I wanted the whole house to be 12 volt, but it didn't work out that way. It's kind of surprising that there aren't more 12 volt appliances and such available. Like the TV I can get in 12 volt. You can get some big ones now. I'm finding big ones on Amazon. The sound bar, gosh, car speakers with an amplifier. Couldn't find a decent refrigerator. Okay, my batteries died right there. We couldn't find a decent refrigerator that was 12 volts for under $1,000. I mean, they're high dollar for refrigerators and freezers and stuff. So we did this with the Inkbird, and that works really, really well. I mean, this thing's been running for almost 2 years, no problems at all whatsoever. Okay, all these, oh, excuse me, all the light bulbs and stuff came from Amazon. The basic thing, the most important thing is to have imagination. I mean, I've never done any kind of decent carpentry work, and this came out okay. I probably could have done better. I'm not done in a lot of places. These are just hanging there, stuff like that. You can see in here where Sheldon, I made these metal because Sheldon gets up here. You see how dirty and scratched up it is. But Sheldon gets up here and he was tearing up the wood. So he gets up here and he looks out the window. That's why I made all these windows in metal, the trim around them. You can see where he's been up here licking the window. He's a crazy dog. Nuts. But you need imagination. You need to be able to think about outside the box is what you have to do. And that's something that I've always had kind of fun. It's fun to think outside the box. You don't want to, you got to have some kind of a plan, but you don't want to be stuck on that plan. You're going to have to make some changes and vary your methods, change methods, learn new methods. Like I don't have a table saw, but I can cut using a straight edge. All of this, matter of fact, this countertop was cut using a straight edge. And you can see it's perfect. It came out great. This hole around the outside, or around the sink, was cut using this. Oh, I better do the dishes before I head out today. Forgot about that. But anyhow, you got to think outside the box. You got to be able to change your idea and change your plan on a moment's notice. And you're going to be in the hardware store doing a lot of hardware store engineering, where you're standing there saying, well, I can do this and I can do this and figure it all out, save your receipts, because you're going to want to take that stuff back. So you just have to be able to think outside the box. That's this whole house is done thinking outside the box. And it's very comfortable. It's very tight. It's not going anywhere. I'm actually even thinking about selling my Rollins house. I doubt that I would ever. I mean, I love that little house. But this is great. You couldn't do this if you weren't able to think outside the box. Not by yourself. You could be a fantastic carpenter, but you're building something here that it's just different from anything else. So it works. Anyhow, I'm going to get out of here, and I think we're going to be back this week, and we might be bringing some furniture. Don't know, but we can get away from sleeping inside the bedroom or on the cots and maybe get a bed in here. But I almost think that the first thing we need to do is get that shed built in the back of the building there. If we get that shed built, then I can move a lot of this junk out into that shed. All the non-freezable stuff and stuff that just doesn't need to be in here. Anyhow, I'm going to get busy and start packing up stuff. I'm going to get this one here published before I leave. Y'all have fun now.